Chariot and Chironeshka Barber have done before her. But can she beat the Olympic champion? Sifan Hassan run out of it here in the 10,000 metres. She was fourth. What kind of form can Hassan find? It's been a difficult season for her. Eilish McColgan, 10th in the 10,000 metres in pretty brutal conditions. She looks relaxed. European silver medalist and one of the fastest women in the world this year over the 10. Carissa Schweitzer was inside the top 10 as well. NCAA champion twice. Gudafe Tsegaye will believe that she can beat Letsenvet Gedye. Silver in the 1500 behind Faith Kipyegon, stepping up to the 5,000. Tanaka did really well to make this final. Typical front running from the former world junior champion Jess Judd of Great Britain. Found the weather heavy going in the heats but made it through. Gloria Kite, fourth in the Rabat Diamond League over 3,000. Trains with Monex Capruto, one of the fastest men in the world this year over the 10K on the road. Elise Granny of USA, twice a national champion. Derartu Syoum, world indoor silver over the 1,500 metres. Third fastest in the world this year. And on the outside, Beatrice Chibet, world junior cross-country champion and African champion over 5,000 metres. A brilliant lineup. 10,000 metre runners stepping down to the 5,000 and 1,500 metre runners stepping up. Speed against strength meets over 12.5 laps. The women's 5,000 metre final gets underway and the reigning Olympic champion goes straight to the back. Sifan Hassan, out of your picture, has not had an easy season. And there are whispers in the distance running fraternity that the Ethiopians could go for a clean sweep here. They have the second, third and fourth fastest athletes in the world this year in this race. Syoum is a world indoor silver medalist over the 1,500. There's Gedye with big 5 just ahead of Tsegaye as Eilish McColgan comes round on the outside. Gedye's completed the set of global medals over the 10 with a gold here, having got a silver in Doha and a bronze in Tokyo. Gudafe Tsegaye, 5,000 metre bronze last year. And Sifan Hassan, a silver in the 1,500 metres. Maybe you would say out of the 3 Ethiopians, Tsegaye with that raw speed that almost lived with Faith Kipyegon in the 15. Maybe she is the favourite out of the 3 Ethiopians. But the Letsenvet Gedye was magnificent and found wonderful form to outsprint everyone at the end of the 10,000. Pretty steady here as they come round towards the home straight. Tanaka will be itching to hit the front. A really gutsy run to qualify, and it won't be long before she thinks, hang on a minute, we're basically tipped. It's the Letsenvet Gedye who hits the front. She's having a full-on conversation with Derartu Tulu. All 3 of the Ethiopians conversing. It'd be fascinating to get some close-up shots of that, just to see. It's almost as if they're out for a training run. And the biggest problem when a big pack run like this, Dan, they really are jogging. It's almost ridiculous. Someone could easily fall at this stage.
Yeah, they're clear out into the 3rd lane, into the 4th lane, as McColgan comes into picture. What was interesting, though, was to see the Ethiopians up front having a chat, saying, hey, here's what we're going to do. Strategizing during the race.
And at last, they have come up with their plan. And it's Gudafe Tsegaye leading. The Letsenvet Gedye is the tallest of the 3 Ethiopians. She's Caroline Kipkurui of Kazakhstan, formerly of Kenya, 7th in the 10,000 metre file. Now at least we've got a proper race on our hands. It was almost as if everyone was waiting for one of the Ethiopians to decide to go. When they were jogging round to the start of the 1,500 on the back straight on the previous lap, they were almost at a complete standstill. picture in the orange vest, no move from Sifan Hassan. Great work by the camera crew there to show us Granny in the centre of that group. The big striding Eilish McColgan just towards the back. That's the gap from first to 15th. That's Beatrice Chibet, the World Junior Cross Country Champion from Aarhus. What a great race that was on a brutal course in Denmark 3 years ago. She now comes up onto the shoulder of the former Kenyan, Kip Kurui. And Letsenvet Gedye having another conversation here. They almost look like they're smiling, talking to each other. It's far too slow for Gedye's liking, and that is why the long, flowing, striding 10,000-metre champion has decided to hit the front. And I wonder whether this move into first place will be a little more definitive than that of her compatriot Gudafe Tsegaye.
Well, for a while there, it looked like Gedye was just running, blocking for the leaders. She would surge ahead, and then she would get in front of the Kenyans, and she would slow it down just a little bit. I saw her do that 2 or 3 different times. Now she's up front. She's going to take her turn at leading this pack.
So Gedye, led by Gudafe Tsegaye, Beatrice Chibet, another 2 Kenyans queuing up. Margaret Kipkemboi is the one on the third. She got the silver medal in this event 3 years ago. Rory Akite is the less the front, but she hasn't really injected too much pace. And once again, a little bit of tit for tat. Tsegaye takes her turn at the front, and little by little, this is surely going to have to get faster. Sifan Hassan has attached herself to the back of that group. Jess Judd is the athlete on the right of picture with the bobbing head and the ponytail. She's become detached from this group, and Eilish McColgan of Great Britain is also just at the back of that group of around about 12 or 13, with Sifan Hassan just in front of her. The 3 Americans running all in a line on the inside.
Well, as they get to the 200-meter mark, they're into a stiff headwind, and I think it's probably pretty smart that they almost go single file right there. That is where the wind comes right past the tower and onto the front of that back straight.
Tsegaye looking around. It's Rory Akite on the curb. Tsegaye leading, Gedye in second. Akite third. Syoum, the other of the Ethiopians, now in fourth. And how often have we seen this at the front of global distance races, male and female? The might of the 2 East African nations, separated by the vast, stunning Rift Valley. If you are a fan of distance running, both Kenya and Ethiopia are in Kenya and Ethiopia. You really do feel that you're somewhere magical when it comes to distance running, even if you're just jogging along a 7-minute miling.
One another here, Gedye, Tsegaye, back and forth, just taking turns, doing the work.
Side by side, and now Letsenvet Gedye decides to try and inject some pace. She's had a look over her shoulder. Beatrice Chibet is there for Kenya. Kite on the inside, no move yet from the other of the Ethiopians. Now it's Syoum, we've got a world indoor silver over the 1500. It's not a definitive move. She keeps looking round. This game of cat and mouse has to come to the boil at some stage soon. Sifan Hassan is still attached to the back of that group. Eilish McColgan beginning to lose ground. She's just from 2019. Don't rule out the other Kenyan, Kip Kurui, who represents Kazakhstan. She's back in around about 5th place with Syoum in 6th. Good running as well by the Americans to stay in touch in this final. Schweitzer and Granny just towards the back of that group. 3 laps to go now, and it's still feels cagey, and Letsenvet Gedye still looking over her shoulder. The Ethiopians have done the clean sweep in 2005 and 2015. Great atmosphere in the stadium. The crowd here are not just interested in sprints, and they're not just interested in American gold, silver and bronze. They've roared for some of the East African nations in the distance events so far, and there'll be a big cheer as they get towards the bell, but there's a little bit of work to do yet. Now Gedye goes to the front. Surely she's going to strike out now. It's fractionally quicker. They had a 71, that's a 70. And Gudafe Tsegaye in second place is having a look at the big screen. And she won't necessarily like what she's seen because all the big contenders are right behind her. And we haven't really spoken about Sifan Hassan, the Olympic champion. She did an unprecedented double in Doha, winning the 1500 and the 10,000. No one's ever done that, and won a medal at the 1500 after winning the 5 and the 10 last year. She was off the podium in the 10,000 metres, but with 800 to go, she's just at the back of that group. 3 Ethiopians, but 2 Kenyans are there, and the athlete from Kazakhstan. Surely this is playing into the hands of the 1500 metre specialists, and if Sifan Hassan can rediscover her explosive speed, maybe she can get herself on the podium here after being bitterly disappointed in the 10,000 metres. Remember, the 5,000 metre Olympic champion has had a hard year, and she started her season late, but Hassan responds. Tsegaye leads from Gedye, Beatrice Chebet and Kip Kemboy are right up there. Kite has drifted off the pace, the third of the Kenyans. It's anyone's race now as they come round with 500 metres to go. It's been one of the cagiest races over 12 and a half laps I can ever remember. But now it's about to explode into life. They take the bell in the final of the women's 5,000 metres. Gudafe Tsegaye leads. She got a silver in the 1500. In second place, Sifan Hassan. She's the Olympic champion. What a fantastic victory it would be for her. She's done virtually nothing all season. But they round the early laps so slowly, it's played into the sprinters' hands. Beatrice Chebet, the World Junior Cross Country champion, towards the outside of lane 1, and that's allowed Sifan Hassan to come through on the inside. They're running so close together, these 3. It's a miracle they haven't tripped each other up. Hassan has got the inside line, but has she got the speed? It's been a difficult season for the Dutch woman. Tsegaye's coming past her. Silver in the 1500. Little by little, Tsegaye's pulling away. A great effort by Chebet, the cross-country specialist. But Gudafe Tsegaye takes the 5,000 metre title. Chebet takes the silver. And it's a bronze for Dawit Syoum. It was just too slow for the likes of Letsenvet Gedye to live with the explosive pace at the end. It was so tense and so tactical, and despite her mistake of letting Sifan Hassan come through on the inside with 200 to go, Gudafe Tsegaye was not to be denied the title. Silver in the 15, but it's all gold tonight over the 5, and Tsegaye is hoisted aloft by her friends and teammates. Fantastic for Gudafe Tsegaye. She tastes the top spot on the podium on a memorable evening.
Wow, that was really something, Rob, and I wasn't 100% sure what we were watching. So many different moves. That race absolutely had it all. Lead changes, and just when you thought with a lap to go, is Sifan Hassan going to come back and ruin this all, spoil it all for the Ethiopians? But it was just too much. You said the 1,500-meter runners were going to make their move with a lap to go, and they certainly did. Tsegaye certainly has shown people what she's capable in the 1,500 meters, but Hassan definitely made a run of it. But talk about the teamwork throughout the entire race by the Ethiopians. The Kenyans could never really quite get together and work together as a group, but it was the Ethiopians controlling that pace and that entire race until the end when it was a free-for-all sprint.
And I did wonder at one stage